Hello and welcome to another update video about Quant QNT. My view is still that the move off the June low all the way up into the October high was an impulse, a 5-wave move to the upside, which is currently being corrected in a 3-wave structure A, B, and C. Basically, we moved up in what I consider a wave 1 and we're coming down in a wave 2. However, it's also worth talking about the risks. We have reached the target area here in green, the key support area for a wave 2. If we break below this level, even though the following move to the upside and the bullish pattern here is not invalidated, it would become very, very unlikely to still work out, because any move that drops below the 78.6% fib level should be considered, in my opinion, a failure to create an impulse. So if it fails to create an impulse, it means it's going to drop below, or the other way around, if it drops below the 78.6% fib level, I have to consider the move to the upside purely as a corrective wave pattern. I have to consider that QNT failed to create an impulse, and I have then to focus further on the downside. The very last chance for it to turn around would be, or the ideal place to turn around would be above that $80 level, above the 78.6% retrace, and the very, very last moment space level where it should turn around is the $61 level. So you can already, you can imagine in a way that as long as we are turning around to the upside, which would be a wave 3, by the way, to around, just below $400. If it does that in this green area, I mean, this is the area with the highest likelihood where it should turn around. And if it does turn around here, we can assume a low has been in. If it turns around, if it drops below that level, the likelihood that it can still create a wave 3 will reduce dramatically. But there's still a certain probability it can do that as long as it stays in turnarounds above $61.35, the 88.7% fib level. However, if it even drops below that level, then in my experience, basically, with a very, very high likelihood, it's not going to be able to turn around, and it will make a new low below the $40 level. Certainly, it will first retest that level, and most likely will then also drop below it, make a new low below the $40 level. However, as long as we are holding above $80, the primary expectation has to be that we are going to go up from here in a wave 3. But this is, again, I need to mention, this has been the first 5-wave move after the June low. So the current move down, the current correction, the current wave 2 is the stress test for this bullish scenario. 5 waves up only give you an indication that the trend has shifted. The real test and confirmation will only be if we are holding a higher low, if we're making a higher low, ideally above the 78.6% fib level. So until we have confirmation here that this low is holding, we are only speculating. We can assume that the low was in because of the strength of that move. I mean, it moved like 400%, 450%, yeah? So it's quite significant. But it needs to hold the support level. That's the next level of confirmation. And then the next level of confirmation that we are in a wave 3 would be if the price breaks above the previous wave 1 high. Because what in theory could always happen, is just a bit of an education message here. In theory, what could happen is that this here is only an A wave. There is going to be a B wave, and we then come down in C. That is technically always possible. But would be unlikely because it has already moved down so much. So I cannot really consider the move down as an A wave anymore. It has come down too much. Therefore, I think either it turns around here or it will fail. Okay, so let's zoom in and let's take a look at what this wave 2 is actually doing. As indicated, we're moving down ABC. We are now in the C wave. The C wave consists of 5 waves. My assumption is we've made a wave 1, 2, 3, a wave 4, and we're now coming down in 5. We've already made a new low below the wave 3. So basically primary expectation complete. We have moved down in what I believe could be a 5-wave move down. However, this could also extend further down. And the way this currently looks, what we have seen now of the low, of this last low, isn't really in any way impulsive. So I think this currently looks just like a 3-wave structure wouldn't be surprised to come down here and make even lower lows. Ideally, we looked at that. We've got key support at $100, then 94. And if we drop below 94, we can see the $80 level. So anywhere in this region, it now needs to turn around. First confirmation that we are turning around would be a break above the previous small wave 4 high here, which is about, or let's use this high, which would be above the 112 US dollar level. That would be the very first indication that we're turning around. But ultimately what we need to see is a 5-wave move to the upside, a 3-wave move down. It would also be good and helpful to break above the 50-day moving average here in white and let me just double check that. What are they? No, the 20-day moving average is here in white. Wouldn't pay too much attention to that, but certainly the 50-day moving average is worth mentioning, because we haven't really moved above that level since November, early November. And actually we haven't moved up a bit, we just dropped below it. So we never really tried to get above that level. Breaking above the 50-day moving average would certainly be a signal that the move down is over. At the moment, I cannot see anything that would indicate to me that the low is in here. As long as I don't see 5 waves up and 3 waves down on a smaller time frame, my view is that we are still coming down further to make it clearer, lower low below the $100 level. But bear in mind, we are again in the key turnaround area. Anywhere in here the price can turn around, but at the moment there is no clear signal yet. So yeah, that's my update about Quant. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.